What's happening, people? What's happening? What's happening? So, we're live. And as you see, I'm going to do a video on a response to Showbiz and the adult. And this video should break down a bit on okay, on what he was saying. I do agree to the high extent on what he was saying about how boxing fans, they would take to a particular fighter, and because they don't like another fighter or they don't take to that fighter, they find reasons to try to bash that fighter or put that fighter down. By the way, Sean Porter said that he believes Terrence Crawford would beat Errol Spence. And he would know because he faced Errol Spence. He probably didn't face Terrence Crawford, but he definitely faced Errol Spence. He's Terrence Crawford's friend. So maybe he sided with Terrence Crawford also because it's a friend, but nonetheless, this is a fact. We have to keep that in mind, bearing in mind that Sean Porter faced Errol Spence. And then the other thing Sean Porter said was he expected Errol to be more of a demolition man, coming forward, fighting more, being more aggressive, and he saw that he wasn't as aggressive. So you got to give him his props. And he also said that he believed that Terrence Crawford got a lot more nuance, a lot more skill. He is able to make smarter decisions in the ring. Basically, the narrative that most people have been saying about Terrence Crawford. So you got to give him his props on that. And that's a guy you got to pay attention to because he faced Errol Spence. All right, he never faced Terrence Crawford, but he did face Errol Spence. So you have to take that what he said as something worth considering. Okay, so I put that in my digestive storage bank, and I'm keeping it there. In addition, remember Errol Spence drinks, right? So that's another thing. Terrence Crawford keeps himself clean. You saw Sean Porter keeps himself clean, always in shape. The other thing we learned is that Terrence Crawford has gotten bigger. He now, has a much more bigger rehydration weight. So all of these things are factors we have to consider. However, again, I'm always about truth. I'm not about, trying to pick sides per se. One of the things that was interesting though is that Showbiz the adult was talking about these inconsistencies we as fans have. But I wanted to break down, one of the more recent ones, which is Bitabiev, Artur Bitabiev, and Vasily Lomachenko. And I think Showbiz the adult is missing out some subtle facts that he needs to consider. All right. Bitabiev, first of all, was not hyped up. The media, the press, the engine, ESPN wasn't hyping him up as the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like they were hyping up Triple G, and now they're hyping up Lomachenko. And because of that, you will find that when fight fans realize that Lomachenko isn't all that he's hyped up to be, that they would obviously be very critical of him. Okay? BWF has just become champion. Nobody really know about BWF like that. Now, if ESPN starts hyping up BWF where he does not deserve the hype, that is where you're again going to see boxing fans sort of turning against BWF as they find out the truth of the situation. The problem in boxing is this. Fans want to know if somebody's legit or the truth. The fans saw that BWF was the truth, so they are saying he's the truth. The fans, not the engine or the machine that's preaching to us that he's the truth. And so as a result of that, Showbiz the adult needs to understand that his comparison talking about how fans say that BWF is the truth, but when it comes to Lomachenko, they think that he is compromised, exposed, a fraud, whatever. It's based on what the narrative is for Lomachenko versus the narrative for BWF. Yes, Lomachenko has accomplished a lot of different things. Very, very great things. Okay. But the way how they're hyping him up, BWF is not pound for pound number one, but they're talking about Lomachenko being pound for pound number one. Not saying that he doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying that there are better fighters out there who should be pound for pound number one over him. All right. They're talking about BWF's 15 fights, and Lomachenko has what, 10 or 12, something like that. That might be the case, but see, the thing with Bitterbiev, if you look, is he's stopping all his opponents. Not that that's a great thing, but he's stopping all his opponents. And the opponents that he's facing, at least this one here was the lineal champion, are good opponents. They really can box. They can fight very well. Now, Bitterbiev himself is a very good boxer. An underrated boxer, I would say, because the way how he really dissects his opponents and breaks them down is to the body. Now, a lot of people say, he's this fearsome puncher. He got heavy hands, and I remember Ness saying he's not as a great a puncher as Kovalev. And I probably agree with you, but he's very strong. Kovalev's not very strong, but Bitterbiev is very strong. And this guy is not steroids and stuff that doing that. He's been that way since the amateurs. All right. In fact, at a certain point in time, he fought at heavyweight. So he was the number one heavyweight. So yeah, Bitterbiev came down in size to fight at light heavyweight. That's another thing people don't know. That's why he faced Usyk. Usyk beat him on points. He knocked down Usyk in the final round of their 3-rounder. So Bitterbiev is a dude who people are now coming to see. And so people are now realizing this guy is the truth. He's the goods, which he is. Now, Lomachenko is the truth and the goods too. Don't get it twisted. But the narrative that people have been giving has overrated Lomachenko. As a result, you'll find the fans out there saying he's a fraud. He ain't all that people say he is. He's struggling with these dudes. The narrative. Shout out to Tommy Temper, man. Shout out to you. So that's why you can't say that the fans are inconsistent necessarily in the case, say, for instance, in the case of Bitterbiev and Lomachenko, because the fans are finding out that Bitterbiev he's actually good. He's actually better than I thought. I thought this guy was just a power puncher. No, he actually can box. He can do some things. How he snaps back. Let me show you a couple of things that Bitterbiev does. I was just watching him in the amateurs against Alexander Usyk. And unfortunately, he did not get credit for the body punching when he faced Alexander Usyk. The point system was really interesting. Yet he was the more effective of the two. Now, a lot of times people talk about boxing in terms of a guy fighting on the outside. So the guy's on the outside, he's jabbing you, and he's moving, right? And they say that's boxing. Very few times do they talk about the guy who's snapping back, swiveling, and getting on the inside. That's also boxing, right? But apparently, if a guy's fighting on the back foot and he's moving around a lot and he's popping a jab, they call that boxing. But the guy also who's swiveling, changing up the angle and coming in, right? That guy is also boxing. All right? It's sad, but that's the way it is. So a lot of people thought that Alexander Usyk was outboxing Bitterbiev for the majority of the fight. And when I look at the amateur fight, they mostly looking at the headshots, unfortunately. Usyk's not really going to the body like that. So they're scoring points for the headshots, ignoring completely Bitterbiev's body work. It is what it is. But body punching is really, you like to score that. Okay, cool. Corruption is why they didn't score the body punches. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Bitterbiev obviously was the more effective boxer of the two because he was going to Usyk's body and he broke him down. It's called breaking down your fighter, right? That's boxing. He wasn't brawling. He wasn't just a power puncher brawling and throwing shots. He was very methodical, very systematic in what he was doing as he was coming in. Most brawlers, they have one kind of guard, this, right? Or they come in like this, and then they come in, right? Bitterbiev is not that. Fake, swivel. Changing the angle all the time. Changing head slots all the time. Coming in on you, right? When you throw a punch at him, to guard or snap back and roll, right? That's what Bitterbiev would be doing. And he didn't necessarily take a step back. He could box on the back foot. I saw him, bouncing, changing the slots and going with the box up in the back foot. But at the end of the day, he prefers to walk you down, get to the inside, and work, right? And it's his accumulation of punishment to the body that allows Bitter BF, when he knocked down Bostic, he caught him with a right over the top. Of course, Bostic being, I'm not Bostic, sorry, Usyk being southpaw, the lead right would be the effective weapon. I love his untelegraphed lead right as well. Beautiful stuff. I love Floyd Mayweather, Nato. I mean, all the greats. Roberto Duran, that untelegraphed lead right is beautiful. How he gets on the inside, and he uses it like a spear. He spears you on the inside with that straight lead right. It goes to the body. Sometimes it goes to the head. He mixes it up. He have a beautiful left hook. He follows it up with, again, to the body or to the head. So you can see this guy can box, right? And the other thing about Bitter BF, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but his timing is on point. You remind me of Marquez. All right. Is he hittable? Yeah, he's hittable because he's slow. So sometimes he can't get back in position. But what I like about him is when he throws a punch, he tries to get back into a defensive position immediately. Right? So he's got a lot of good stuff. He's really, he the goods. Sergey Kovalev is not as good as him. And then he's very, very strong. He's very, very strong. But anyway, my point being, I remember watching BWF from a long time ago, and I thought this guy's special, right? And he's proving it to us bit by bit. And the next guy he has to face is Bivol, or the winner of Sergey Kovalev from Canelo. If Canelo beats Sergey Kovalev, he got a guy in Bitter BF he would have to face. I know a lot of you guys be laughing about that. Be like, shit, he ain't coming close to Bitter BF. You may be surprised. It's a science to everything. And BWF does break you down, but what Canelo does is what BWF does. It goes to the body. Now, Canelo throws a lot of combinations to the body, but I don't think he has the power that BWF has. So it would be a little bit different because BWF is very strong. But as Floyd would tell you, Whitaker would tell you, stronger fighters don't necessarily mean just because they're stronger than you doesn't mean you can't beat them. You got to keep your composure, 1. 2, you got to make them miss by inches and counter them. You also have to go at their pace, their speed. Change up your rhythm. The thing about Usyk and the thing about Vorzdijk is that both of them were going at a very high rate, a high speed. They had to keep the jab popping all the time. They go into the head mostly, not even try to work the body. And because of that, because they're pumping the jab and they're moving so excessively with their feet, they're not using precise footwork, which Canelo has. They can't get the angles they really want. They have to circle so wide to get an angle. And even when they pivot around Bitter BF, they're not landing nothing as they're pivoting. And so with this Ukrainian style of boxing that they have, it's kind of amateurish. You find that they really are limited in their game because they must be effective at mid-range. They're not good outside of mid-range. Some of them can fight on the outside, but they're not good outside of mid-range. They don't know how to fight on the inside for sure, right? Canelo lives on the inside. That's what he do. He live on the inside. And the other thing about it is he's very tricky. His upper body movement, his lower body movement, his footwork is all tricky. So it would be a nice little chess match, Bitter BF being the stronger guy. That don't mean that Canelo won't counter him because that's what Canelo do. He counter dudes, all right? So I could see Canelo being more on the back foot than on the front foot against Bitter BF, but still counter punching him as he goes back. I'll show you an example. First, I'll demonstrate Bitter BF, okay? I'm going to do it in the orthodox stance. One of the beautiful things Bitter BF does, right? You throw a jab, right? And he is the beautiful way, if you're southpaw especially, to just throw an untelegraphed lead right, and he falls in. Okay, so he goes. You just never see it, and he's in already. Okay, it's beautiful. Canelo, Bitter BF would be throwing his combinations. What would Canelo be doing? Canelo would be leaning back and countering, and it's just pivot work. You see how I pivoted? 1 pivot, 2 pivot. 3. Well, I pivoted out of the screen. But you see Floyd Mayweather. You see guys like the Argentinian boxer, which I forgot his name right now, because fucking Nonito Donaire is coming in my mind for some reasons unknown to me. But the Argentinian boxer. They counterpunch you on the back foot. Ha! Ha! And then they finish it off with a jab. Ha! Ha! But they on a pivot. They're on a pivot. You don't need all this excessive footwork. You could actually go toe-to-toe with a guy. Floyd did it also against Andre Berto. Berto obviously is stronger than Floyd, but he was able to use the pivot work to work around Andre Berto and even go toe-to-toe with him, but off of slight angles. Changing up those angles slightly. Changing up the range slightly. I'm in and out of range when I'm doing my pivot work. And it has to do with virtual distance and all of that stuff. It's a lot of good stuff. And that kind of nuance to boxing is what a lot of people don't understand. Sergio Martinez don't have that, buddy. He don't have that shit. Sergio Martinez bounces on the outside like this. He bounces on the outside like this. And he in and out. This kind of herky-jerky shit. All right? What I'm talking about is where you in the pocket, but then you out of the pocket. Because your feet are in the pocket. But they off at an angle. You watch and see my upper body movement? See how that's moving? See that? So if you trying to hit me with a hook, I roll under the hook because I'm swiveling, right? And while I'm rolling under that hook, I'm coming to the hook. Huh! Huh! You see? I come to the hook as well. Counterpunching. And that's the thing Canelo got. He got that sixth sense because he's been working so much. He would roll under the... So you're not going to catch Canelo like that. All right? And Floyd do the same thing. Like I said before, Canelo's a bigger Floyd. When you guys come to that realization, he's skilled. He's skilled. That boy got skills. So even a guy bigger and stronger, you saw it with Gennady Golovkin. Much bigger guy. Danny Jacobs. Much bigger guy. Rocky Fielding. Much bigger guy. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Much bigger guy. Sergey Kovalev. You're going to see. It's a much bigger guy. Canelo got it, man. He got what it takes. He's slick. He have a certain degree of slickness. And that, don't matter if you're trying to go to the body, his body not going to be there because his body constantly moving. His torso is constantly moving. He's constantly pivoting, taking off the steam from your punch. And he's not moving all that excessively around the ring. Like those other boxers. Right? The Ukrainian boxer we just saw there, but a kid named Vorstik, right? He Ukrainian like Usyk, right? They use footwork. Lomachenko used footwork. Pacquiao used footwork. They don't do box step. They don't do pivoting. They don't really do that. See, you throwing a punch at me. I know this from Shitaru, which is a martial art, right? You throwing a punch at me. So what do? I sidestep you and I wrap your hand. And if I want to, huh, right? I'm off at an angle. You came this way at me, and all I did was this, slight pivot. And you're going past me. Right? It doesn't take a whole set of work. You don't have to be quick or nothing. You're watching the punch come. If you want to, you block it. All right? Same thing in boxing. Right? But you got to keep your composure. You got to be cool under pressure. You look at Floyd. Floyd don't move a whole set of fast. I'm sure Pacquiao's faster than Floyd in terms of throwing punches and shit. So how Floyd is able to negotiate it? Because one, he's watching. Two, he's distance controlling. So Pacquiao got to throw. Sometimes he's throwing past Floyd because Floyd up close on him. Or he's throwing too short because Floyd's way back here. You got it? You vary in the range all the time. And you roll him with the punches. Right? Changing the range all the time. My feet are the same place, but I'm changing the range. You saw Floyd counter Canelo Alvarez. Alvarez came in with a jab. What did Floyd do? He leaning off the jab. Boom, boom. 1, 2. Canelo came back with the other shot and he just leaned back. Whoosh! Went past him. Didn't even move. Right? Virtual distance. Trick him into throwing down the wrong line. And, trap setting and all that shit. These guys don't know how to do that shit. Walk him into the trap. Walk him into the shot. Canelo do that. It's totally... Listen, what Canelo do, everybody can't do. What Floyd do, everybody can't do. Whitaker's his own beast to himself. Whitaker did what Whitaker do. Nobody does what Whitaker do. Nobody's Whitaker, right? Period. Okay, he would turn you easy. And he'd just be walking around, turning you, walking around. He's not even running. He got you going in a circle all day, every day. Whitaker's something else. But I'm just saying that, you know, that's the thing with these fighters. So everybody's thinking, oh shit, Beterbiev will kill Canelo. No, he got defense, man. He got defense. That's the one thing Canelo got. He got it. He got defense. So that's why I told you guys there's levels to this fucking sport. But a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying. A lot of people don't get it. You know, I'm demonstrating so you guys could appreciate what I'm saying. I'm breaking it down so you guys will understand. Right? Otherwise, you guys think I'm talking out my ass. I'm not talking out my ass, right? Now, having said that, do understand that's a hell of a fight for Canelo. Because not that he has to walk the fine line, he has to stay relaxed throughout the fight and stuff like that. But here's the thing. That fight is a real one. That's a real fight. Khabibiev is also equally smart. You know, he will pick his punches. He will land shots on Canelo. Canelo will catch a lot of the shots, you know, counter punch him. But Canelo ain't going to be the guy. He might sting Beterbiev. He might even sting him and buzz him and shit, but he ain't going to hurt him. Unless he put a lot of punches together, you know what I'm saying? And headshots don't do shit. He had to go to the body. So he would be having to, you know, wherever it's available, he has to get those shots in. Because Beterbiev, Canelo ain't stopping Beterbiev. He's not doing that. Too solid. He's too solid. You know, he's not stopping him. He's too strong. But if you catch him to the body good, he could slow him down, and that's what he'll need to do. In that fight, it's about slowing down Beterbiev. It's not about trying to out, you know, boxing from the outside. That shit ain't gonna work. Canelo need to go on the inside, need to work his body. Beterbiev is not a guy that really fights up real close. He's not a real close fighter. He'll rough you up on the inside, but not real close. And Canelo can pivot, turn, land his body shots, and keep on working, you know. Derevyanchenko would have been a good fight also for Beterbiev. Those two guys, Derevyanchenko, if he could put on some more mass, go up to light heavyweight, that would be a hell of a fight. Because Derevyanchenko is another guy who he can fight right up on you, like on you. He like to be on the inside, you know. Beterbiev, he not so deep on the inside. He don't be right there in the middle of the, you know, trenches. He's not really that deep. Canelo's gas tank isn't great with the extra weight. It's going to suffer badly, in my opinion, at light heavy. No, not at all. Listen, what you guys don't understand is, first of all, on fight night, Canelo comes in 170, 175, right? He going to be 170, 175 on fight night against Kovalev. He going to be the same weight he always been. He not going to put on more weight. You know what I'm saying? That's what you guys not understanding. Canelo has been, what? I think he was 160 something at super welterweight. Like 165, 167, somewhere there. And then by the time when he couldn't make weight again, he couldn't make 154 and he was doing the 155 thing. He was coming in 172, 175. And he's always been that weight. Right? When he's training and everything, he's that weight. They only dehydrate a couple days before fight day so that they can make weight. And then they just go back up to what they were. So really and truly, he's not going to lose any speed whatsoever. He's not going to lose any speed. He trains at the weight he is at. He just loses that weight to make weight for a fight. So he's not going to lose no speed, no power, no nothing. You know where I learned that from? Troy King. He was telling me, because Troy King also walks around 174, 175. Clarissa Shields walks around 174, 175. And so on. Erislandy Lara is about 170, 172. They walk around that weight. It's to make weight that makes it hard. You know, Terrence used to walk around 160, 150 something. And then when he had to make lightweight, it was hell because he come in rehydrated at lightweight at 153. He did one of the heavier lightweights when he was fighting at lightweight. And it took some energy from him and power. With Canelo, he gonna have more energy. He gonna have more power because he don't have to dehydrate that much. May not be the best weight for him, but, you know, I'm just saying. Kovalev, when he faced Bernard Hopkins, he rehydrated to 188. It was 188. So Kovalev, what does he rehydrate to? He probably 190 pound or 192, 195, comfortable. He ain't gonna have to worry about making weight because he just came off of another fight, so he don't have to worry about that. So actually, this works in his favor some because yeah, he has to heal up, but he stays on point. Now he don't have to worry about making weight. He can focus on boxing. So that's why I said you're gonna see the best Kovalev you ever seen in your life. Still gonna get stopped though. He gonna look good. He gonna look real good. Y'all gonna be thinking, man, this guy gonna win this fight. And then he's gonna get stopped. He looks sharp and everything because he gets to work on his boxing. He gets to work on his boxing with Buddy McGirt. He gets to work on his boxing. He don't have to worry about weight. And he gonna feel real good too. He gonna feel real good. So yeah, expect a really good Kovalev. Probably the best Kovalev you ever seen. The crusher's gonna be back. And he's still gonna get crushed. y'all laughing. Y'all probably wondering, why is he laughing so much? He gonna look good. He gonna look good. People gonna say, well, man, Canelo really beat a real good. But I just know what it is. I know what it is already. So it is what it is. He's still gonna get crushed. Hopkins and Mayweather had the best lead right hands, in my opinion. Yeah, man, they had good lead right hands, but like I tell you, you guys go look at the super featherweight named El Nato. Look up El Nato as a boxer. Ernesto Marcel, man, that motherfucker had a beautiful lead right, and he would follow it up. I mean, Sean did it too. He doubled up the lead right, but he would double up his lead right. So he hit you with a double lead right. That shit looks sick, and it was so untelegraphed. How you just lean into it and then boom. Sometimes he hit you, boom, boom. You know, he beat the great late, what's his name? Shit. It'll come to me. The guy that Aaron Pryor beat twice. Him, the legendary fighter. Forgot what his name is. I'm drawing blanks at times. You're going to have to forgive me. Vasil, what's up, man? What's up, bro? Vasil says, I was at the fight, Bitterbiev and Vorzdik. Nice, nice. Tommy Temper says, what does Kovalev rehydrate to? I just answered that. Tommy Temper says, good point. I overlooked that. Vasil says, how do you see Canelo-Kovalev fight playing out? Like I said, stoppage. Some people are giving it 8 rounds. Some people are giving it 6 rounds. I mean, you know, it's whatever. But I do know one thing. He's gonna get stopped. Kovalev's gonna get stopped. That's a guarantee. I don't know when, but I know he's gonna get stopped. He usually gets stopped around the 8th round if he's gonna get stopped. Against Andre Ward was, I think, the 8th or the 10th. I think with Elita Alvarez, I think it was with the 8th or the 10th as well. And I think Canelo gonna stop him somewhere around there. But he gonna put up a hell of a fight. He gonna put up a hell of a fight. Vasily Lomachenko said, yeah, he seemed like a weight bully, especially his fight with Gamboa. Yeah, Terrence Crawford. Yeah, he was big at lightweight. He was big at lightweight. He ain't stopped nobody else at lightweight, though, if you guys think about it. He stopped no other names, just little ass Gamboa. Everybody else, he went the distance with. Everybody else, Ray Beltran, you know, Ricky Burns, everybody else he went the distance with. Buddy McGirt reshaped Kovalev. Not enough. Still says he finally developed a left hook. Nah, he always had it. He just Buddy making him use it more. Vasil says, I think Ward laid out the blueprint to beat Kovalev. Take out his right hand and dig into Kovalev's soft gut. Yep. Alexis Arguello. That's the name I'm talking about. Yeah. Yep. Ernesto Marcel beat his ass. Bad. This was before he became world champion, though. And Ernesto as well. Vasil, that's who you're thinking of? Yes, sir. That's the guy. Tommy Temper says, who do you think will hit harder at 175, Ward or Canelo? I don't think it really matters. Does it really matter? Not really. It's who's stronger. See, a lot of people talk about hitting harder and stuff. That's cool. But it's who's stronger. See, okay. So you guys to understand what I'm saying, you got to, I'm trying to visualize. I'm trying to show you what I mean. I'm gonna demonstrate again. This might make sense to you guys afterwards, right? So let's say you're a really powerful puncher. Right? You're a very powerful puncher. But right? I realize that your power is a certain place. So what I do is I had to get to the let's say I get to the inside of your power, right? So I come in and I clinch up, right? I come in, you guys can't see, but I clinch up here. I clinch you up, right? And I got you here. Power is great. Hardness of punches is great. But if I can succeed at nullifying that by clinching you up all the time, I've taken it away. If you're physically strong, however, and it goes the other way, right? If you're physically strong, however, when I try to grab the clinch, you can fight me out of the clinch, pivot me, rough me up, right? Or when I'm in the clinch, punish me and rough me up in the body. Wah, wah, and wah, wah, right? You could rough me up and I can't maintain the clinch. So physical strength. When I'm in a clinch now with you, you lean on me. You put all your weight down on me. Or if I come in underneath to come in under the side, you lock me up here. And then you do like this. Right? You lock me up and then you press me down. Because you're physically stronger than you, I can't resist you. Yeah, the physically stronger guy, I'm wearing you down. Right? And that is without throwing a punch. In boxing, you can wear down an opponent, especially if the guy is more skilled than you. You can wear his ass down. Right? You can wear him down without throwing a punch. Now, if you can mentally as well drain him, he's trying to figure out a way. He's panicking on the outside. And you stalking his ass and you fainting, and you stalking his ass and you fainting, right? Or, some people, they faint with their shoulders. So, do like this. Right? I'm fainting with my shoulders. Fainting as if I'm going to throw the right hand, throw the left, right? And then I finally do. Right? There's a difference. That wear down the guy because he's wondering, is it coming? Is it not coming? Is it coming? Is it not coming? Is it coming? Is it not coming? Right? So, if you don't know how to keep your composure in a fight and stay relaxed, you're burning up energy. And the stronger guy, he's wearing you down. He's grinding you down. So it's not so much about how hard you punch in boxing. That's a factor. Some guys have sledgehammer hands. It's what it is. They punch hard, right? Not necessarily to stop you, but they punch hard. You get hit by them and you're like, I don't want to get hit by that again, right? So that's important. But more important is physical strength. That's where size comes into play. Andre Ward is not known as a power puncher per se. Between him and Canelo, who knows? Maybe Canelo punches harder than Andre Ward. Who knows? We don't know. But what I do know is, who would be the physically stronger guy? Andre Ward, for sure. And so what Canelo would have to do, he's going to be the smaller dude. He's going to have to negate that physical strength. And the only way, like I said, for you to do that, as Floyd did and all the other guys, the smaller guys that fought bigger guys, outweigh them by huge amounts, is now you have to use your skills and techniques in counterpunching. You have to be able to counterpunch in combinations and shit like that. You got to be able to tag these guys up because you're not going to get them out of there. You can't clinch up on them because they will rough you up. So now you have to be able to keep your composure. Use precise footwork like Mikey Garcia did against Errol Spence. Precise footwork. Keep your defense tight and mount your offense. Because you're not going to knock them out. So you're going to have to outpoint them. All right? And you're going to have to land some telling shots that hurt them as well. Not hurt them as in hurt them, but like buzz them. Delay them. Keep them back. Jab to the pit. Ha! As they're coming in, those kinds of things. Little uppercuts inside. Sneaky little shots. Shots on the outside. Sometimes keep in range with a jab off a pivot. How you pivot, where you pivot, what you do. All of these things are very important. And this is where the special ones, they know how to to negate certain things and still mount their offense at the same time. And the special ones, they know how to do certain things that vary range all the time and keep you having to guess what they're going to do. Because you could surprise a guy with a sharp shot, how sharp you punch. You see how this dude was throwing a whole set of punches and jabs? What's his name? Zvordik. It wasn't good enough. The guy knows you're going to throw a jab. He knows he's going to throw a punch. He expecting that shit. You got to hit him when they don't expect it, when they're relaxed. So you have to set up traps. You have to walk them into traps. That's the only way. Gennady Golovkin, when he got shot countered by Canelo, his whole system jolted. Now, he wasn't buzzed or hurt or anything, but in his mind and in it shocked him. And when you shock an opponent, because you hit them with a shot they don't expect, yeah, they want to get you back, but at the same time, they don't want to be sharply countered. They don't want to be sharply countered again. And he ain't throwing combinations to get hit in an exchange, and you're also not predictable. They don't know when you're going to sharpshoot them. And that's what keeps them at bay. Just enough for you to be able to do your thing. And I'll point them. You understand? I'm teaching you guys a little bit about boxing because I realize a lot of people don't understand the sport of boxing. Boxing is up here. It's not all of this brawn and strength and muscle. It's not that shit. It's up here. Okay? You have to think way in advance. What is your end point? What do you want to get to? And then as you're working on the fly and you're watching these guys do, you learn what you need to do to handle them, to get to the end point you're looking at. So you're always ahead of your opponent. You're always steps ahead of your opponent, all times. But you got to keep your defense tight. If you don't have no fucking defense, or you got a sort of monolithic defense, you're not gonna. They're gonna overpower you. A stronger guy's gonna overpower you. You got to have defense. Everything you're doing is in defense. That's the only way. What Mayweather did in his career is so fucking difficult. And what Pernell Whitaker did. We're talking about guys much smaller than bigger guys. Yeah, they strong. They physically strong. But the bigger guys are stronger than them. And they were still able to beat these guys. And convincingly. And that's not easy to do. Okay? But with Canelo, I would love to see him against Beterbiev because I think that Beterbiev is a skillful, big, stronger guy. Canelo also himself, he don't move excessively around the ring. He's very economical with his movement. I would love to see him against Beterbiev because I know Beterbiev is going to be stronger than him. You know, got good defense too. He's a little slower than him though, and I think the slowness. I mean, he got good timing and shit, but he's slow. He's going to be a hell of a lot slower than Canelo, and that speed will work in Canelo's favor, but not how Zvorzik used it. Zvorzik used it the wrong way, right? And it wasn't so much how he used it, actually. It was his mindset. You could see he was in a panicky kind of mode. It was burning up a lot of energy. And then on top of that, Beterbiev was hitting with body shots. So he burned himself out. You know, he didn't pace himself properly. And again, he probably knew the history he had with Beterbiev. So all of that was burned inside of his mind. You know? So that's why he lost that fight. It was more of a mental losing than it was a physical losing. He already went into the fight not sure if he could win. He wasn't confident about that. And he fought that way. And you can't be like that. You have to go into the ring thinking that you will win, not that you can win. You are determined to win. And he did have the determination. You saw him get back up from the knockdown. But, you know, third knockdown. The referee said, third knockdown, I'm done. Because in light of what happened with Patrick Day, he wasn't going to allow that fight to go further, you know. So, you know, they preserved Vorzik. But I'm going to say this, though. Vorzik is a hell of a fighter, a hell of a boxer. Puts together some lovely combinations, has pretty good defense, but his defense is mostly with his feet, not with his upper body. He doesn't change levels like that. He doesn't swivel. He doesn't he does use a little bit of, he does create a little illusion, but he don't know how to. See, this is the stuff I'm trying to explain to you guys. It's like a lot of things I got to demonstrate for you guys to understand. So, they always say, if you can't get the head, go to the body. Okay. But here's the thing. Here I am, right? This is my body here, facing you guys, right? Now tell me if you can see my body now. Where's my body? Where's my body? Even if you throw a hook, it's gonna hit me on my butt or on my bone right here. My elbow, you're gonna hit my elbow to try and get my liver. There's nothing there, right? There's nothing there. Now imagine this. You threw your hook, right? And then I just come back with a ha! I snap it back on you. I turn everything back around, I snap it back on you. What happens to you? You just got sharp-shotted. I just punished you for throwing a punch at me, which you didn't hit me clean with. I'm fine. But you just got cleanly shot. Who likes that? Nobody. Right? So, at the end of the day, even if you're a very determined person and you put your combinations together and stuff, one, when I'm coming back with a shot, I'm actually rolling your next hook. If you decide to come with another hook, I'm rolling it automatically. So I got inbuilt defense inside of my offense. You guys understand? And this is the sort of stuff that Canelo knows. And you're not going to learn that shit overnight. And it takes a lot of repetition to get into your system, into your DNA, into your muscle memory. That's why I'm saying again, I mean, Kovalev have a chance against Canelo. He got a chance. He got puncher's chance. You know? And Kovalev, you know, he lean in and he got virtual distance and he'd be like leaning in like this and he may throw the jab or he may throw the right. I see what he do. And he's not going to put a lot of steam on his punches so that his hand's already heavy. He don't have to put a lot of steam on it so he can get the quickness he needs. But that shit, Canelo's seen that shit many times against many boxers. Just so happens Kovalev is white and you're seeing him doing sort of like some of the slick black style, but Kovalev faced many slick black fighters. I mean, Canelo faced many slick black fighters. Erslandy Lara, all them guys. He's seen this shit before. You're not showing him something he never seen. Oh, he gonna be hit by Kovalev in a way that he never been hit before. If Kovalev lucky, he have a puncher's chance. And these are the kind of things I try to explain to people. It's not that, oh man, you a fanboy, Canelo. You just saying that. No, I got reasons why I say what I say. I'll break this shit down for you guys. All right. Now, when it comes to Beterbiev, Artur Beterbiev, it's a totally different story. Beterbiev have a totally different style. Beterbiev is a strong dude. You can't be doing that shit against Beterbiev. you ain't just sitting around counterpunching his ass and that's it. Nope. You're gonna have to. If you counterpunch him, you gotta pivot on that counterpunch or roll under his shot, whatever he may be throwing. And don't try to clinch him up either. He's strong. You're gonna have to use you may have to use your lead hand to, how do I put it? You use your lead hand to pivot around him off of a shot. You know, it's not as easy with Beterbiev. But you know, keep your composure, stay cool, watch what he's doing, observe him, do your offense where you can, use your defense and stuff, and you should be okay. Like I said, I'm not worried for Canelo. Canelo can fight at any weight class. Nobody gonna knock him out. But what the thing is, the one thing I do know is you need offense as well. So if he's totally defensive, it's gonna be a problem. Like Mikey Garcia was. He couldn't get his offense going. But Mikey Garcia, he could go any weight class. He could fight with Rumble with anybody because he got defense. He got defense. And Canelo got defense. So it's going to be very hard to knock out Canelo. You got a puncher's chance, of course. So you could catch him. But it's just, I think it's very hard to knock him out, quite frankly. And Mikey Garcia. You know, Lomachenko, he could get knocked out. He could get dropped because he don't have that kind of defense. His defense is his feet. So you find guys from Eastern European fighters, they more use their feet and stuff. I mean, Beterbiev, he tricky. He changed levels. He snapped back. He do some extra stuff, you know. He do some extra stuff that make him interesting because he adds extra elements to his game. You know, that's what make him good. But when it comes to guys like Kovalev and them dudes, Kovalev's also pretty good. He got, again, you know, John David Jackson did a good job with him. But when you're talking about like fighters who, you know, They slick, and they really, got all this other nuance to it. That's what I'm saying. But still says, I think Canelo will win. I agree with what you need. I don't know about stoppage, although Yard almost put Kovalev out in the eighth and ninth round, I believe. But I think Canelo will win by unanimous decision. This is why I say stoppage. Canelo places his punches very well. So it's how you place your punch that makes a difference. And Kovalev, you see, like I said, Andre Ward, I don't even know if Canelo hits harder than Andre Ward. But if Canelo does hit harder than Andre Ward, because how hard you hit doesn't really depend on your size per se. You got little guys who hit really hard, you know. So it's not so much about the size, it's about the timing and the placement. You saw Louis Collazo, who hasn't knocked out anybody in a long time. You saw him hurt Keith Thurman, right? Well-placed punch. You saw Canelo knock out Rocky Fielding with a body punch. It's not like Canelo hit him and dropped him and that was it. That was the end of the fight. He had to hit him about 3 or 4 times. It was just how well-placed the shot was. And so that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's not so much about power. A lot of people get caught up in power, power, power. If you go in there thinking you're going to throw a power punch, you're trying to throw punches with all your might and power instead of just trying to be fluid and smooth and trying to get your timing right on your punch. And when you knock out a guy, he's like, I wasn't even going for the knockout, You heard Bitter BF say the same thing. I wasn't going for the knockout. So how did he hurt his opponent? He hurt his opponent because of the timing of his punches, how he was putting his punches together. And Kovalev now, he's learning to do that with Buddy McGirt. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying that you still have to look at it like the dude still that's all he depend on. He still depend on his power and his hands. He has boxing technique and so on, but again, he got limited range and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Basile says, I think Canelo's footwork and defense is too tight for Kovalev. That's what I'm saying. He got good defense. He really got really good defense. That's the problem. So when Kovalev tries to out, and the thing about it is, Canelo will make you miss and then make you pay. So when Kovalev extends himself, throwing the jab or whatever he decides to do, Canelo gonna time that shit. He gonna time it, and he gonna counter it. Tommy Temper says, I'm picking Kovalev, but I'm not confident in the result. But like you were saying, if Kovalev can establish a rhythmic jab, not a rhythmic jab, he got to be unpredictable with his jab. That's the other thing. Andre Ward talk about that. Floyd talk about that. A lot of people talk about it. Andre was trying to explain to Clarissa Shields, you're not trying to be predictable. You're not trying to throw something that the other guy can expect. Or if you do throw something that the person expects, you're coming behind it with something they don't expect. Off an angle they don't expect. It's something like that you got to do. But you can't be predictable in boxing. You can't get KOs with predictability. I mean, Kovalev got some KOs, because he crashed opponents. But, you can't be predictable. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how hard your hands are. You have to set up the knockout. So if you really hurt Canelo early in the fight, he has a chance. He has to hurt Canelo. Bloody him or bust up his nose and hurt him really early. He could try. But just remember, when he's going for that, just understand, Canelo's going to be tagging his ass up as well. It's not a one-way street. I always tell people, don't go for the KO. Just do what you do. Box. Kovalev's a good boxer. Box Canelo. That's what you need to do. Box him. Mix up your shots, body to head, head to body, body to head. Box him. Try to be as unpredictable as you can with your jab. Mix your right hand with your jab. That kind of stuff. And make sure you get your hands back in defense. Try to get your hands back. Try to be as defensive as possible. Meaning defensively responsible. Try to get your hands back as quickly as possible. But do that in a natural way. Don't try and clinch back. You burn energy that way. So he got to get it back after he throw it. He's very lapsed with that shit. That's why he get tagged up. Kind of lazy with that. So he need to work on that in this camp. And hopefully it'll stay in his mind once he gets hit. Because once he gets hit, all that shit gonna go out the window if it's not in muscle memory. You know what I'm saying? Tabby says Kovalev needs to boss Canelo. Being the smaller guy, he do that. He gonna get the Pacquiao treatment. Because Canelo's a counterpuncher. He ain't bossing up shit. Canelo counterpunches, man. He counterpunches unless he's ready to eat punches. And you know Canelo gonna land a body shot. That's and you see, stop him in his tracks. When he try to boss Canelo, Canelo gonna land a body shot on him. He gonna try to do it at range, and he gonna realize, oh, I'm not too far out enough. Ooh, Canelo. Bitter BF is more of a puncher. He uses feints and plans his attack. He doesn't just bull rush you. Nope. He's systematic. Very systematic in what he does. Especially as he's slower than everybody else. Tommy, tell me exactly. Show him who's boss early and whose backyard he's in. Well, he get dry. Raise your left shoulder more. Vasily says, I never like Kovalev, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter if you like him or you don't like him. The important thing is, it doesn't matter if you like the fighter or you don't like the fighter, right? The important thing is the fighter has accomplished what he has accomplished. And for me, it's not about liking him or disliking him. I'm just stating things. It's not, okay. So when I heard that Canelo was facing Kovalev and Kovalev almost got knocked out in his last fight, I was like, no, man, y'all really serious? Y'all really serious? I didn't like the fight. I didn't like the fight for Kovalev, and I still don't like the fight. And that's why I'm not watching it, okay? It wasn't that I hate Kovalev or Kovalev is I wasn't on that beat. I wasn't on that shit. I'm just looking at it from a boxing perspective, and I just think it's a one-sided fight. I think it's an unfair fight to Kovalev because he's vulnerable. And no matter how much he works on defense, how much he works on changing levels and all the things that Buddy McGirt says he's going to work on with him, and you can't work on too many things because you got to make sure this guy can execute the stuff, right? It don't matter. When Canelo hits him, after Canelo hits him, all that shit going to go out the window. It's going to go out the window. So he don't have enough time to learn all this shit he need to learn that he was deficient in all his life. He don't have that time. Buddy McGirt knows this. So Buddy McGirt's just going to make some slight adjustments, let Kovalev do what he do, try to give him some tips on things he already knows to give him that advantage on Canelo. You're not going to see much of a different Kovalev to the Kovalev you've always seen, but you're going to see a fitter, sharper Kovalev, a Kovalev that looked like the Crusher. The Crusher's going to come out. For sure. He going to come out. He going to show up. You're going to see the Crusher. The problem with it is, now everybody knows the Crusher has a vulnerability. It's not that Kovalev has faded or he's on the downswing. None of that shit is true. The shit is he's exposed. We all know what to do to the Crusher to beat him. Everybody knows that now. And that's the problem. Right? It's not that Kovalev is any worse a fighter than he used to be. It's just that he's exposed. We know what to do to beat him now. And Canelo's just the guy. He got the perfect solution to that. You know. And he's a better fighter, I think, a more accomplished fighter than Triple G. I'm just saying. Kovalev's on the slide, though. Nah, he's not. He's not on the slide. He's exposed. And he's facing younger guys now who actually know what they're doing in the ring. But he beat Elito Alvarez. You got to give him props for that. He outboxed his ass. Hold on a second. like I said, you expect the crusher to come. So you're going to see some brutal right hands and some vicious straight lefts. You're going to see the crusher being like the crusher. You're going to see that kind of Kovalev. It's going to be impressive, but y'all going to be shocked when Canelo, he can negate that stuff. But that's the guy you're going to see coming out, the crusher. Canelo's going to be facing the crusher this time because Kovalev's going to think this guy's smaller than me. I'm going to teach him not to come up in this division. I'm going to teach him I'm the crusher, right? Vasil says, I never liked Triple G. Sorry, I don't mean to bring that up, overhyped bomb. I think it's the media that made us kind of not like him and then his fans. Because a lot of the Pacquiao fans became Triple G fans. And they were vicious. Vicious fans. So I think a lot of things, the fans would say how Andre Ward ducked him and this guy ducked him and Triple G in the meantime ain't facing nobody. Abel Sanchez be talking about how he can face any fighter from 154 to 175. It's the overhyping of him. Then they started saying he's the number one pound for pound. Then they said he's one of the greatest middleweights of all time. And all this shit was going on that wasn't true, And I think that's what big people despise Triple G. Him personally as a person, more or less was okay. He was a cool dude. But I think that, he even bought in some of the hype. I was talking about how Andre Ward, Andre Ward is ducking him. And even now he's talking about Canelo, how he beat Canelo twice and all this stuff. Don't really help his situation, in my opinion. And then he could do no wrong, and he seems to win fights without even, he not winning the fight, but people saying he win the fight. And I'm like, what? So I guess that's why people might dislike him. Kovalev is a good finisher, in my opinion. Yeah, to the level of opposition he was facing, he's a good finisher. Vasil says a puncher's chance, but the puncher has to land. Yep. Vasil, who's your guy? Is that an obvious answer? BWF is very strong and powerful. He has short range power as well. Yep, he does. Pubi Citron says Canelo should come down and fight Pacquiao just to see who you would go for. We know you love both of them as fighters. Pacquiao is crazy, man. But what's Canelo coming down to, though? What they gonna fight at? Super welter? They gonna fight at super welter? I mean, Canelo's now a middleweight, maybe even bigger. Vasil says Tommy Temper. I like Lomachenko, Crawford, Bivol, BWF, Usyk, Wilder, Luis Ortiz. Bivol is my dude. I like Bivol more than I like BWF, strange as it sounds. The major reason because Bivol don't belong in light heavyweight. We all know that. He's a small dude. Even Vorzdek, he's a small dude. I like Bivol. He uses skills and stuff. I mean, he's still kind of limited. I realize that. Still, I like him. I like how realistic he is in talking and all of that stuff. Vasil says, my two favorite fighters right now would be Crawford and Lomachenko. Okay. Cool. Tommy Temple says, that's too risky for a 40-plus-year-old Pac-Man, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, Pacquiao has defied the odds all the time. It's just that I think the weight difference between them is like tremendous, I think they just in two different places, Sister, that's true. It's the shortness of the punch as well. Tommy Temper says, you have a great taste in different boxes, Vasil, with a body shot. Tommy Temper says, what about you, my man? Who are your top guys? Who's that, me or? Oh, you're asking Tommy Temper, okay. BWF threw some beautiful body shots that hurt Vorzdek every single time they landed. I heard those thumps. I was in the second row. Vasil says, true. Predictable and patterns are picked up. Yes, sir. The reason I said Kovalev should pump that jab is to throw off Canelo's rhythm, and Kovalev has a stiff jab. Okay. He has to first find Canelo's rhythm to throw it off, though. It's like a piston. Predictability in combos. I agree with what you're saying, what you need, but Kovalev jab is one of his most important weapons. Yeah, of course. Tommy Davis says, if I remember correctly, GGG was very effective with his jab, and he's shorter than Kovalev. Was he? Was he effective with his jab? Think about what I'm saying. Was he? Facility. Tommy Temper, true. KP from Casey. Canelo by stoppage over Kovalev. Yeah, for sure. Facil says, it's a shame a lot of Eastern Bloc fighters get in the game late in the pros because they're mostly extensively in the amateurs. They have such extensive amateur backgrounds. This is true. 7-year age difference. It's not terrible. Facil says, exactly. He wouldn't last with the Fantastic Four. Who's that? Kovalev? Facil says Duran, Leonard, Hearns, and Hagler. What about who are we talking about here? Facil says so damn true, man. Who are we talking about though? Who wouldn't last with the Fantastic Four? Bitterbiev? Kovalev? Who are we talking about? Didn't y'all know Lomachenko hasn't lost according to ESPN? Vasil says Triple G. Oh. Nah, he get hit too damn much. Yeah. Vasil says, my fault. I should have said that. Okay, no problem. Let's see. Triple G versus Duran would have been a good fight. Would have been a good fight. Duran's an inside fighter though. It would have been a good fight though. He never got knocked out. I think he's a big middleweight. Much bigger than Hagler, so Leonard would outbox him. Hearns, I don't know what Hearns would have done, quite frankly. Hagler would have fought him toe to toe. I don't know what would have happened there either. Those are all interesting fights. The Hearns and the Hagler. But Leonard would have outboxed him because Leonard outboxed Hagler. And Duran would have been a hell of a difficult fight for Triple G. Period. Because Duran was a big dude. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, you know, we as boxing fans, we have expectations about fights. And I think that, did I box? No, I've never professionally boxed or amateur. I'm looking to try and do that. Trying to go either the pro route or the amateur route. I'm 44. So, but I just tell you, 44. Yeah, so I'm 45 next year, but I'm still going to try and do it. It's 2 years I give myself, and I do need a trainer first. You're 31, but you're young, bro. But I'm 44, but I feel like I'm 24, 25. The reason being, my body isn't really going through a lot, and I've been exercising a lot now. So I've actually been doing better. But I still need to rehydrate myself well, take care of my body even more, because the older you are, the more susceptible to injury you can be. Yes, I heard so, Tommy Temper, and happy belated birthday again to you. You're 42. You know, once upon a time, being in your 40s, you weren't really, you know, as good as you used to be. But now, you know, I mean, I just did a sprint not too long ago. Still got a little problems with my digestion and gas and stuff, but you know, it's it's good. It's good. I mean, I feel pretty good. My joints feel pretty good. I had injuries in my hip and my knee. I don't really have those injuries anymore. You know, I have injuries in my back and stuff. You know, so I mean, we doing it, man. We doing it. If you're gonna start doing boxing though, and you intend to enter competition at some point or spar, be very careful. Okay, you heard recently what happened with, you know, Patrick Day, and you saw what was reported about Tyson Fury, how he wasn't even using padded gloves, and you know, punching guys in sparring. That's some bullshit right there. That such bullshit shouldn't be allowed. Antonio Margarito, he damaged Holloway. Rashid Holloway could no longer box because that fucker was, you know, using, tainted gloves, kind of plaster of Paris kind of material in the gloves, and he wrecked this dude's career. So you know, Tom Timber says you should stretch more. The older we get, the less flexible we become. Yeah, man, I do a lot of stretches myself, and I stretch my back all the time, and you know, I stretch my feet. I do squats, I do ab work drills, a lot of ab drills. Really builds a lot of strength. And right now, I feel really good, um, but every now and then I get pain in my stomach and bloating. Yeah, yeah. So, I think one of the things that so I was talking about BDBF compared to Lomachenko. I think it was the hype around Lomachenko that made people feel a certain way. Who got big legs? Me? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't call them big legs, but I have powerful legs. I used to play basketball and all that too, so I used to leap a lot. But the thing with if you hyping up a fighter, the other thing is fan expectations. What did I mean by that? You're going to introduce, man, we're going to have this fight with this guy. This guy going to face this guy. This guy's the best at what he is. This guy's the best at what he is. Fans expect them to face each other. You can't be introducing these thoughts to people and then afterwards, have them, you know, learn that this is not even going to happen or some kind of shit like that. That really gets fans angry. It gets them annoyed. And so he cited certain examples of, like for instance, Canelo wanted to face a UFC fighter or Tyson Fury right now in the WWE. And people don't give a fuck about that shit. They want to know that Tyson Fury is facing Deontay Wilder. They want to know that Canelo is facing Demetrius Andrade or Jamal Charlo or some worthy opponent. They want to hear that after the Kovalev fight, you want to go fight a UFC fighter. That's some bullshit right there. Right? Face the guys you're supposed to face first, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Face one of them at least. Kovalev it just does not roll my boat. And I've been telling people this because of my understanding of boxing. I understand what Canelo's doing. Don't get me wrong. He want to beat everybody from 175 to 154, like what Gennady Golovkin's Abel Sanchez claimed he could do. I get that, but it's always annoying when the guy not only fights the guy that the fans didn't expect him to fight because he was saying how he wanted to unify all the belts. And all the fans was waiting for him to face Demetrius Andrade. Canelo always comes through. He say, all right, the fans want this. So Canelo asked, he said, what do you as the fans want? So we did a poll, and all the fans wanted him to face Demetrius Andrade, right? Most of them. His fans, Canelo fans. And this motherfucker after that turns around and is going to face Sergey Kovalev. Man, that really annoys the shit out of me, man. So, yeah, obviously as a fan, you're kind of annoyed because you know what Canelo is. Canelo is a dude, he will face, what the fans want. And all of a sudden, he's not facing what the fans want. The fans never asked him to face Kovalev. Like, Kovalev came out of left field. All right, Canelo want to face Kovalev. Say that. What the hell is you asking the fans, who do you want to, like Pacquiao. Pacquiao is asking the fans who they want to see him face. And the fans said Errol Spence. The winner of Sean Porter Errol Spence fight, which is Errol Spence. Pacquiao ain't gonna face no fucking Errol Spence. Okay? And this is the kind of shit that why are you asking us the question if you're not even gonna do this shit? So these are annoying things to the fans. All right? So when people say that the fans, they suck, yes, I agree the fans suck. That's very negative. But the reason being that here are these boxers who present these things, say, this is the promise to you, and then they just take it away and they don't they don't give a fuck about us. And that's annoying. Right? Mayweather Pacquiao is a perfect example. Everybody's expecting Mayweather Pacquiao 2010. They're making negotiations. Oh, yeah, this is going to be the fight. This is going to be the fight. And the motherfuckers don't fight. And it ends up being some stupid ass reason why they don't fight. And so obviously the fans are like, what the fuck? And then they're always dangling that fucking fight in front of everybody. Oh, yeah, we're going to try and make negotiations. Oh, no, the fight can't happen. Oh, we're going to try and make negotiations. Oh, the fight can't happen. So obviously the fans are like, fuck you. And then when they hear the fight's actually going to happen, they're happy. Like, yeah. And then when they have the fight, what they're expecting, because they hyped it up as this fight of the century, it's going to be like two gladiators going at each other. It's going to be a kill fest. It's going to be a blood fest. Everybody thought Pacquiao was going to win the fight too, on top of that. And then the motherfucking fight was a tactical fight. Tactical. And Mayweather seemed to be just having an easy time with Pacquiao. That shit rubbed people the wrong way. Okay? Because now they was looking for this fight since 2010. When the fight actually happens, it's a domination by one fighter. The other fighter never makes the adjustment. It's an anticlimax. Okay? It's an anticlimax. And people are like, I paid. And then they charge a whole set of fucking money for the fight. Man, come on, man. A lot of people would be pissed with that. Okay? And so that's why they say it did bad. So that's where the fans are coming from. For me, as a pure boxer, from a boxing perspective, I loved the fight. It was a fantastic fight. But then the casual fans don't appreciate that shit unless you can show it to them. And that's why I try to show the fight, break down the fight, what actually happened in that fight, and why these two guys who are really fast as hell. Hold on 1 second. Why are you? How are my friends? Whatever, dude. What's this? Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that makes people, like Tommy Jones' fans always want the big fights. Yeah. And the thing about it is though, I know you have to build a big fight, but be honest. All that really needs to happen in boxing is honesty. A lot of times people are dishonest and overhyping fighters. Now I hear Vasily Lomachenko, he ain't got a loss on his record. That's bullshit. Why are your networks and things doing all this bullshit to hype up fighters? You're not making a superstar out of them by telling lies. And these guys continuously tell lies. And so that's what gets the fans disenchanted. The dishonesty. You know, and they always want to make this fighter hyped up more than he really is. We know there's matchmaking and all that stuff, but come on, man. You know? So that's why you find some people disliking certain fighters. But it's not the fighter's fault necessarily. It's the hype around him. And then they put on other fighters who deservedly and legitimately have done things. They put down those fighters. Who lost his first pro fight? Like Hopkins. No, he didn't lose his first pro fight. Lomachenko? No. He won his first pro fight. He lost his second pro fight against Orlando Salido for the WBO featherweight title. They were both going for it. It was vacant. Two-Pass. Shout out to you, Two-Pass. I love lower level boxing now. I miss old days of welterweight divisions. What? Still? Two-Pass says even casual dudes like Mayorga would be duns today. That's how bad it's gone. What? You do know that Mayorga just got knocked the fuck out again. You guys, I don't know, boy. People say all kinds of extreme things. No. Boxing today is a lot more tactical. I think people hold on to the past like if it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Michael was a real threat in his prime. He was unorthodox. He had a little bit of boxing skill. Beat Vernon Forrest. But that's about it. His claim to fame was beating Vernon Forrest. He also unified titles, so he beat Six Head Lewis as well. Mayorga was terrible years ago, but better than most chumps today. Floyd at 41 would come back and overtake Manny Pacquiao. Floyd at 41 would come back, take over, look at Manny. Floyd's not 41. He's going on 43 this coming year. He's 42 years old. He's too old now. If he came back, he'd get his ass whooped. He's broken down too much. His body's broken down too much. He's not facing Pacquiao again. I don't think so. Floyd's done. When it comes to pro boxing, he's done. He's not coming back. He would not dominate. Manny would win a rematch. For sure. Almost 100% guaranteed. 40 is the new 30. Probably by KO. Nah. I think Floyd got good enough defense that he wouldn't get knocked out, but definitely would get beat up. He done with boxing. Floyd's done with boxing. It's not happening. That's it. 50-0. That's it. That's all Floyd will write for his career. He go back into boxing, then one of them young guys gonna beat his ass up. He gonna take a pounding. He can do exhibitions though. That's what he can do. The kind of fight was a farce. Of course it was a farce. That's easy work. The man's a debutant. Man hasn't been at the top echelons of amateur boxing. You got Floyd with a Olympic bronze medal pedigree. Okay, dude's been dominating boxing since he was 21. Okay, became world champion at 21 in 18 or 19 fights, and has been world champion since then. And you're gonna put Conor McGregor. Yeah, he's a great MMA fighter. MMA, he was at the top of the MMA sport. But come on, man, this is boxing, man. Yeah, he did some boxing, but he sold the idea that, he could do any sport and win anything. Conor sold the idea that he could beat Floyd. He was much bigger than Floyd, but it didn't really make a difference. Didn't know how to fucking punch properly. Far less anything else. Floyd carried him for a couple of rounds. Yeah, of course it was a farce. But see, we can't say that. It's like me saying Canelo cherry picking Kovalev. Because fucking fans actually believe Kovalev can beat Canelo, I can't say that. But I really want to. Right? In the case of Conor McGregor and Andre Berto, those were cherry picks, man. Not that I fault Floyd for cherry picking. I just expected more of him. I can't fault him because he did so much in his career. But them last two was cherry picks, man. Come on now. Berto, come on. He always wanted to face Berto. Like Canelo always wants to face Kovalev. So it's the same thing you're seeing again. And then he faced Conor McGregor for the cash grab. It was like, all right, let me grab that cash. If you think of those two as cherry picks, they're high-level cherry picks. Because it's a high-level cherry pick. Berto, two-time world champion. Nobody else was two-time world champion at the time. He had faced everybody, right? So the only guys left over was Keith. Keith wasn't two-time world champion. We had Kell Brooks somewhere around there. Sean Porter. I can't remember which one was the champion. I would have always loved to see Sean Porter versus Mayweather. I thought that he would beat Keith Thurman. I thought he would be able to. I was interested in seeing if he could beat Kell Brook. And Sean Porter, man. Sean Porter was the guy that I was like, man, that's a fight I would love to see. Because I know Porter brings it. And I know that Floyd had problems with Maidana in the first fight. So I would have loved to see how he would have held Sean Porter at bay. I think he would have done it because, again, he would have anticipated what Sean Porter would be doing. He would try to figure out the pattern and anticipate it, but it would have been a hell of a first 3 rounds. Floyd beat Leprechaun and then a midget. What? Who you got, Ruiz or AJ2? Ruiz. Troy Soar says, do you think Canelo will ever fight undefeated champion Andrade, or will he go his whole career and not fight that man? Oh, no. He's going to face him. He has to face him. Him and Charlo. He definitely will face them. He'll face them. He has to. And the longer he takes is the better they're going to get. Tommy Temper says, I got AJ, but again, I'm not confident of the result. Why are you picking all the losers, bro? You know they're going to lose. Are you trying to collect some cash just in case they win? Tommy Temper says, Troy, what a question. Shout out to Troy Swords. Porter like Porter's like Mosley. Mosley don't really. Well, yeah, kind of. I could see it. Tenacity. I could see it. I could see what you're talking about. Porter's so much more amped up though. Tommy Temper says, "How long do you think Canelo has left in his career?" Oh, at least 7 or 8 years, man. 7 or 8 years. He can finish fighting at 37, 36, 37. He got a lot of shelf life. He don't really take that much punishment. You see, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Y'all talking about the two Canelo fights and how it took out a Triple G, but the two Canelo fights didn't take out a Canelo. That should tell you everything you need to know. Tupac says Canelo never fought Charlo or Andres. I think he's up to the light heavyweight division. He gonna face them. He has to. He has to face them. And they will follow him all the way up to light heavyweight if they have to. But he has to face them. So he has to face them in his career. And he got a ton of other guys he can face too. That he'll have to face too. You got the Billy Joe Saunders at 168. You got Callum Smith. You got Jose Benavidez now. You got Caleb Plant. He got to face all them guys. Because now he's fighting a light heavyweight. So if he goes back down in weight, he going to have to face all them guys. And the longer he takes to face them, it's just the better they're going to become. So it doesn't really matter. You're going to have to face them at some point. All those motherfuckers will avoid super middleweight. Who? Benavidez would make balloon animals out of Canelo and Andrade. Nah. Benavidez is an outboxer. He ain't got no fucking inside game. That's Canelo's forte. You gotta think about game plan. You gotta think about what these guys do well. Andre, it'll be interesting to see what he could do with Andre. He's a big super middleweight. So Andre's not a big super middleweight. He's growing into being a big middleweight, but he's not a big super middleweight. So that'd be an interesting fight. Andre could box a lot better than Benavidez, though. So yeah, Caleb Plant's the real thing. Caleb Plant's real. Caleb Plant can do it all. He beat Benavidez if they ever face each other. He'll beat him. How? How's he stopping Plant? He didn't stop Darrell, so how's he stopping Plant? Nah, I don't see that happening. Plant got good defense, good skills. I got Plant. I got Plant all day, every day. Yeah. Is Plant versus Smith good? I was sleeping on myself just a minute, didn't I? Yeah, so anyways, guys, that's the breakdown on that stuff. So that's why I can't really say that everything that Showbiz the adult said I agree with, but I agree with most of what he said. Not all his examples were on point. You know. I believe as fight fans, we want to see certain fights at certain points in time. Jerry Scene says Errol Spence alive. Yep, he's alive. And he's relatively okay. He's relatively okay. So, we might get that Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight soon. You know, when Sean Porter said he thinks that Terrence Crawford would beat Errol Spence, I was like, well, all right, let's see that fight one time. I hope it's the next fight. That would be great. Yeah. All right, peoples. I'm gone. Deuces to you guys. I'll catch you guys later in the next video. Look for the breakdown of Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler round number 7. Peace.